At the start of the movie, we see Alvera, her mother, and her sister leaving their home and traveling to another kingdom. Alvera is thrilled because she admires the poetry written by that kingdom's prince and even dreams of marrying him. Soon, they arrive in the new kingdom and meet an older man whom Alvera's mother is set to marry. This man also has a daughter, Agnes, who is far more beautiful than Alvera and her sister. At first, everyone seems happy about the marriage, but their joy doesn't last long. Just 2 days later, Agnes's father suffers a heart attack and dies. When news of his death spreads, many people show up at Agnes's house. Creditors who had lent him money. Upon learning that he had married Alvera's mother, they threaten her, demanding repayment immediately. If she fails, they'll seize their palace-like home and all their land. The truth is, Alvera's mother has no money either. She, too, had borrowed from this man, marrying him for status and pride, only to discover he was just as poor. Desperate, she asks the creditors for a few months' time. After they leave, she collapses in shock, realizing she's been deceived. Worse yet, she's now much older, with fading beauty, and knows she can no longer attract a wealthy husband to improve her situation. Her savings are nearly gone, leaving her in despair. Seeing her mother's distress, Alvera takes pity on her. "Don't worry," she says. "I'll marry Prince Julian of this kingdom, and everything will be fine again." Alvera's mother stares at her, silent and skeptical. Alvera wasn't beautiful, and not many people liked her. For someone like her to win the prince's affection would take nothing short of a miracle. To make matters worse, Alvera had a younger sister who was adorable, but still too young to marry. That left Alvera as her mother's only option. Meanwhile, Agnes was also struggling with her own grief. With her mother gone and now her father dead, she sat beside his lifeless body, silently begging her late mother to somehow fix everything. Then, after a few days, a royal announcement spread across the kingdom. The king's minister delivered the news. Prince Julian had come of age, and in 4 months, a grand ceremony would be held to choose his bride. Unmarried girls from across the land were invited to participate, and the prince would select his future princess from among them. It was essentially a competition, one where every girl had to present herself as flawless, and they only had 4 months to transform into the perfect version of themselves. From their household, both Alvera, who had always dreamed of marrying Julian, and Agnes registered their names. But there was a problem. Why would the prince ever choose a plain-looking girl like Alvera? Her mother knew she had to make her daughter desirable at any cost. Desperate, she took Alvera to a plastic surgeon. They couldn't afford procedures, but Alvera's mother was convinced that once her daughter married the prince, they have more than enough to pay the surgeon back. The doctor outlined his plan. He would reshape Alvera's eyes, nose, teeth, even her breasts. The first procedure was brutal. Using a large, terrifying tool, he forcefully adjusted the bones in her face, leaving Alvera in excruciating pain. Before she could fully recover, she was back for her second session. This time, her nose. The surgeon sliced through the center, shortened the bone, thinned the sides, and clamped a strange iron mask over her face to ensure it healed straight. The agony was unbearable, but Alvera endured it, clinging to the hope that beauty would bring her happiness. But looks weren't enough. She also needed royal etiquette. So, she was sent to a finishing school where noble manners and ballroom dancing were taught. There, she discovered Agnes was already enrolled. Miss Sophia, their instructor, explained the rules. The girls would learn how to walk, talk, sit, stand, and dance like royalty. But not all of them would make it to the ceremony. Only 16 would be chosen. As the days passed, Miss Sophia noticed something undeniable. Agnes, Alvera's stepsister, outshone everyone. She was naturally graceful, already well-mannered, an exquisite dancer, and stunningly beautiful without a single surgery. Noticing Agnes' natural grace, Miss Sophie moved her to front row while relegating Alvera to back, where the less attractive girls were placed. When they returned home, Agnes pleaded with Alvera's mother, "We need to bury my father's body. It started to rot." But Alvera's mother coldly replied, "I don't have money to waste on a funeral. Whatever little I have left is for my daughter. We'll deal with your father's burial only after Alvera is chosen." Hearing this, Alvera realized her mother's favoritism. and it fueled her determination. She pushed herself harder, slowly inching forward from the back lines. Finally, after 40 grueling days of training, the moment arrived. Miss Sophie and her assistants announced the names of the 16 girls selected for the royal ceremony. Alvera's heart sank when she saw the list. Agnes' name shone at the top, while hers lingered at the very bottom. The others were shocked too. Alvera's bandaged nose, still healing from surgery, made her an awkward sight. The next phase of training began, but Alvera struggled. During dance lessons, she faltered while Agnes glided effortlessly. Miss Sophie, impatient, shoved her aside and snapped, "You didn't earn your place here. Your mother bought it. Without her money, you'd never have made the cut." The harsh words stung. Alvera's confidence crumbled. Was she truly so unworthy of being liked? At home, Alvera's mother summoned a designer to craft elegant gowns for her. But there was a problem: Alvera's weight. The designer frowned and declared, if she wants to wear these dresses, she must slim down immediately. With no time to waste, her mother enforced a brutal diet. Only lemon water, no solid food. The following day, Miss Sophie met privately with each of the 16 girls, probing for inner beauty beneath their polished exteriors. Once again, Agnes impressed her the most. But when she spoke with Alvera, something shifted. Hearing the girl's quiet desperation, how she endured humiliation, pushing forward despite the odds, Miss Sophie felt a pang of sympathy. In a rare moment of kindness, she slipped Alvera a mysterious gift, whispering, "This will help." What was it? The answer came later when Alvera, curiosity burning, showed it to her sister. Inside was a tapeworm egg. Miss Sophie had explained that swallowing it would keep her weight down. No matter how much she ate, she'd stay slim. Once married to Prince Julian, she could kill the parasite by taking an antidote. However, Miss Sophie hadn't mentioned the dangerous side effects. Agnes, sensing something was wrong, begged Alvera not to take it. But obsessed with winning the prince, Alvera swallowed the egg without hesitation. That same afternoon, Prince Julian came hunting nearby. Seeing him reignited Alvera's fantasies of royal life. On their way home, Alvera spotted Agnes talking with a servant. Furious, she reported this to her mother, who punished Agnes severely, beating her, demoting her to household servant, and confining her to the estate. Alvera secretly rejoiced. With her biggest rival out of the way, the path to Julian seemed clear. The tapeworm meant she could feast in secret while maintaining her figure, and Agnes even smuggled her extra food, perhaps hoping to sabotage her transformation. 3 months passed. When doctors finally removed Alvera's nose cast, the results were stunning. Her new delicate nose enhanced her beauty dramatically. As Alvera prepared excitedly for the ceremony, Agnes toiled as a servant, milking cows while Alvera gloated over her downfall. But the transformations weren't complete. Alvera endured more agonizing procedures. Artificial eyelashes stitched painfully into her lids left her eyes bandaged and grotesque, followed by breast augmentation. These ordeals left her increasingly frail, yet ravenously hungry. Agnes continued sneaking her food, defying their mother's orders. At school, Miss Sophie grew concerned about Agnes' absence. Alvera's mother lied, claiming grief over her father's death had made Agnes withdraw. With Agnes gone, Alvera, now surgically enhanced to rival her stepsister's natural beauty, took her place in demonstrations. One night, as Agnes secretly brought food, Alvera combed her hair, only for clumps to fall out. Horrified, she realized the terrible truth. The tapeworm wasn't just controlling her weight. It was devouring her vitality from within, stealing the nutrients that maintained her hair's luster and her body's natural beauty. The price of artificial perfection was proving far higher than she'd imagined. When Alvera's mother found out her daughter had replaced Agnes as the lead dancer in the ball, she immediately ordered an even more extravagant gown than before, one meant to outshine everyone. Meanwhile, Agnes endured cruel treatment from the household, their jealousy festering over her natural beauty. As the designer fitted Alvera into her dress, he noticed her thinning hair and quickly crafted a wig to conceal the damage. But Agnes wasn't defeated. She had already decided to attend the ball no matter what. She retrieved her late mother's old ball gown, a stunning priceless piece from when her mother had been the most beautiful and wealthy woman in the kingdom. The moment Alvera saw the gown, envy consumed her. She tore it to shreds, leaving Agnes heartbroken. With no other options, Agnes took the ruined dress to her father's decaying body and wept, until her mother's spirit appeared in a shimmering light. Filled with pity, she gifted Agnes a pair of enchanted shoes under the same conditions as Cinderella's fairy tale. Wear these, and the pumpkin outside will become your carriage. But when the clock strikes midnight, everything will revert, including your disguise, and you must hide your face, or all will be lost. Overjoyed, Agnes accepted. As she left, something miraculous happened. The insects feasting on her father's corpse began stitching her gown back together, weaving it anew with eerie precision. Finally, the night arrived. Alvera, radiant in her wig and surgically perfected beauty, led the opening dance. The crowd was mesmerized, unaware her allure was entirely manufactured. Prince Julian, captivated, chose her as his partner, just as she had dreamed. For a glorious moment, everything was perfect. The nobility showered attention on Alvera's mother, and Alvera herself basked in triumph. But then, a masked girl in a dazzling blue gown entered. An otherworldly aura surrounded her, pulling every gaze in the room, including the prince's. Against his own will, Julian abandoned Alvera mid-dance and approached the mysterious stranger. As Prince Julian leaned in during their dance, Agnes' mask slipped off, revealing her identity to Alvera. Panicked, Agnes knew her stepsister would cause trouble, so she fled the palace. The prince chased after her, but like Cinderella's tale, she escaped, leaving one enchanted shoe behind on the steps. The king retrieved the delicate slipper and proclaimed every maiden in the kingdom would try it on. Whoever it fit perfectly would become their princess. Meanwhile, Alvera stormed home in a rage, certain Agnes possessed a matching shoe. The moment Agnes returned, Alvera attacked her, stealing the slipper by force. But when Alvera attempted to wear it, the shoe refused to fit. Its magic meant only for Agnes' foot. Blinded by desperation, Alvera took a knife and hacked at her own foot, slicing off toes until the bloody shoe slid into place. The agony made her faint. Her horrified sister discovered Alvera had mutilated the wrong foot. The prince held the left slipper, not the right. Shockingly, their mother then butchered Alvera's other foot while she lay unconscious, determined to secure the royal match at any cost. The younger sister recoiled, realizing her mother's greed knew no limits. For 2 days, Alvera writhed in pain until royal trumpets sounded. News spread through the kingdom. Prince Julian was coming to their doorstep. Despite her agony, Alvera forced herself up, desperate to stop Agnes. But her mutilated feet made walking impossible. She collapsed from bed, then dragged herself across the floor. As she tried crawling down the stairs, she tumbled violently, landing face first at the bottom. Dazed and bleeding, she looked up, only to see Agnes standing there, radiant in the very gown Alvera had destroyed. Somehow, the dress had been restored, now more breathtaking than before. Just then, Prince Julian arrived, holding the enchanted slipper. One by one, the women tried it on, but when Agnes slipped her foot into the shoe, it fit perfectly. The prince's eyes lit with recognition. "You're the one," he whispered, taking her hand. As he led Agnes away, Alvera let out a guttural sob. All her suffering, the surgeries, the starvation, the self-mutilation, had been for nothing. Her younger sister rushed to her side, pity in her eyes. Remembering Miss Sophie's antidote, she forced the liquid down Alvera's throat. Almost instantly, the tapeworm inside her writhed violently, forcing its way out. As her sister pulled the parasite free, Alvera convulsed, her body finally purging the poison, but leaving her weaker than ever. "We have to go," her sister urged, wrapping Alvera in thick layers. "Mother will sacrifice us both for money. We can't stay." With one last glance at their gilded prison, the sisters fled, broken but free. The story ends with them disappearing into the distance, leaving behind a life of twisted ambition and the ghost of Alvera's shattered dreams.